The last year has seen so many more people who I believe never thought they would want or need a plan B going out and getting their second residence, their second passport, their backup plan in another country or other countries. In fact, here at Nomad Capitalist, we've seen more than a fourfold interest. We've now quantified the number in people not only wanting a plan B, but investing in it. And yet I still see one challenge with folks who are creating a backup plan in case things get bad in their country, and that is, I'll leave when things get bad enough. I'm going to tell you how you can make sure your plan B works for you right now. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. I'm the author of this book, Nomad Capitalist, and I'm the founder of Nomad Capitalist, where we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. So let's talk about Plan B. Right. If you're someone who is leaving your country to save on taxes today, if you're someone who is giving up your citizenship as an extreme measure, anything in between, that is a Plan A. That's the thing you are doing right now. Everything else, preparing for what could happen, that is a Plan B. And so when it comes to making the most of your Plan B, one phrase that I want you to remember is my very strong belief that better a year too early than a day too late. I have seen that play out personally, more so on the financial side, but I believe it could play out in the future on the financial side or on the personal freedom side. And I've watched as people who said, you know, I feel pretty comfortable being a U.S. citizen along with all of my other citizenships, or I feel pretty comfortable staying in this particular country. And then a new tax law was proposed, or something else happened, and I've literally watched it happen with people that I've worked with where they didn't heed the warning to get out fast enough, and they were left literally scrambling in some cases, literally scrambling. I remember right over Christmas one year helping a guy who was literally scrambling because for almost a year we were telling him what to do, and he said, I'll leave when things get bad enough. And so the question is, you know, when do things get bad enough? If you're an entrepreneur in the Western world, when are the taxes high enough? You know, 40 or 45 or 50. I've got one guy, 62%. 62. If that's not bad enough, what is? I've been following the news for over 20 years now. Since I was about 14, 15 years old, I was reading the newspaper, I was watching news on TV. I was pretty into it. And I can tell you over those last 20 years, I'm sure if you live in the U.S. as I did, or if you live in any number of other Western countries, you will agree, it's gotten worse and worse. They've taken away more of your freedoms. They have created a bigger, more bloated government. Taxes in general, they may occasionally go down, but overall, they're going up. Politicians in the West, the culture in the West support that. So exactly when does it get bad enough? And my question to that, and I'm going to give you some tangible solutions that I think you can use to make the most of your Plan B in a second. But on a human level, when things do get bad enough, do you think that they're going to let you leave? Let's just take an example of something that I work with and something that I've done personally myself. Over the last year, during the pandemic, the U.S. State Department said, don't let people renounce their citizenship. And U.S. embassies, in many cases, are open. We have people here who track, which U.S. embassies are open, where you can renounce, and very, very, very slowly, they've been reopening now. Now, the U.S. embassies are open for business, and here at Nomad Capitalist, and probably your business, we've been open for business. We haven't skipped a beat this whole time. So somehow, the U.S. government, just as an example, can continue to take your money. They're not going to stop charging you taxes. Maybe you got a PPP loan to keep you quiet. Maybe you got some free money from the government. Maybe you got a stimulus check. But they're still taking your money. If you're a productive person, by and large, you're still in the hole with them. You're still losing. And yet, what if you're a cryptocurrency investor and your investments went up 10 or 20 or even 100-fold in the last year? And you're saying, you know what? This is a bad place to be. You had difficulty getting out, not only due to flights, due to the pandemic, due to bureaucracies, whether it's airlines, whether it's governments, all kinds of different restrictions. Now, there have been and there still are places where you can go, and I've been telling people that. Just because the number one place that you want to go is not open doesn't mean you shouldn't go somewhere. But imagine you were quietly developing a fortune in the last year. Just as our business has done well, a lot of people have done very well during this last year because they've invested in stuff that has done well. You can't leave your country. Now, you can physically leave the U.S., but you can't physically leave the tax system until you get their permission. And they just decided not to grant it. There's so many ways I believe that they could do that, whether it's in a financial way. We've heard talk about retroactive taxes. I've been telling you that's something that a lot of governments are looking at right now. Big thing when I was on Fox Business last year. A lot of people were preparing for President Biden in 2020 saying, what if he passes some new estate tax laws, as we've recently told you may be coming, and they make them retroactive to January 1st, 2021. But you wish you would have left a year too early rather than a day too late then. On a physical, on a personal freedom level, one thing I talked about in my video on the Great American Plan B, if you're living in the United States, I might have some kind of access to Mexico next door that's greater than a tourist, that I can get in if things get bad, that I have a place where I don't have to rely on the airports being open. Now, I'm not a doom and gloom guy, but I will say that governments have already proven that they will make it difficult to leave when it benefits them. Do you think people who work at embassies with their 86 days off every year and their 13-hour work weeks really care about serving you? Do you think they really want to take your appointment? Do you think the town hall really wants to deregister you from the tax rolls? Of course they don't. And so I think that the challenge a lot of people have when they look at their plan B, when they say, I'll leave when things get bad enough, was if you just want to put a second passport in your back pocket, I'm all about incremental steps. Go as far as you can see and then see further. So you realize that having a second residence, a second passport, some real estate overseas, a bank account overseas, some crypto, some gold, whatever it may be, those are all good ideas. And if you're taking a step to doing more of those, I think that's great. I'm not mad at you if you want to stick around in your own country. I understand. But I will tell you this. People, I think, look at executing their plan B as some kind of punishment. If you look throughout history, look at all the people who said, they're just doing whatever. Look at all the times, all the wars throughout history, all the times when people were taken advantage of, and I bet that they thought, hey, they're coming after me as the minority, or they're coming after me as the rich guy, or they're coming after me as the guy who wears glasses or has a college education, but how bad can it be? They didn't execute soon enough. And as they say, it's execute or be executed. That's what they say in the business world. I'm not trying to paint a picture of doom and gloom, but I do think that the problem for folks is, if I can't live in the US, I'm going to be miserable. If I can't live in Australia, I'm going to be miserable. Or the UK, fill in the blanks. You don't have to live the lifestyle that I've lived, where I've been to over 100 countries and sometimes dragging a suitcase behind me. You don't have to own different homes around the world, but I do think you should have something. I think you should gain a familiarity. So start exploring. Get your family in on the deal. Get them interested. Get them exploring. Potentially get them interested in a second passport. Do you know how many people I've talked to in the last year where their parents qualified to be added on to their golden visa or to their second passport application, or their adult child can get a second passport with them? And I said, hey, are they interested? They could care less. I don't want to waste the due diligence fee. So many people don't leave their country. They don't want to execute the plan B because what about my family? Why not get the family in on it? The family can always visit you, but why not get them in on this? Why not get them committed? Why not go out and spend time and explore and find out where you like? I work with people who are $1 million a year entrepreneurs, who are single guys who just want to go and live in Bangkok. I work with families that have $200 million and they can't imagine living anywhere other than the Cayman Islands or London, someplace like that. There's something for everyone, but you're not going to know what that is until you go out there and understand. And I think that getting out of the realm of letting your plan B or having your plan B be some kind of punishment where you're trying to avoid dipping into it as long as possible, if you do that, if any of the reasons why you want to have a plan B come true, you are going to find yourself on the wrong side of a new tax, on the wrong side of a new law, on the wrong side of some kind of bureaucracy that is going to chip away at the very plan B you've created. All right? People come to me and they say, I want to create a plan B where I keep all my U.S. rental properties. I'm going to stay living in the U.S. and I hope that when I get sued by the person I think is going to sue me, I'll be totally bulletproof. Now, we're the goody two-shoes of the offshore industry here, so I'm not encouraging people to get in trouble. But, having all of your eggs in one basket, except you have a second passport, it moves the ball forward. But it doesn't entirely solve all of your potential problems. If you have a second passport somewhere else in a country where you can't get there, that's why I made the Great American Plan B, for example. Where can you get and then fly from there? So the bottom line is, don't wait until it's too late. Don't put this off. Don't say it can't happen here or I'll leave when things get bad enough. Things have been getting bad for 25 years. I've been watching this as a student of politics my entire life. Things have been going down in the Western world. You can look at the sentiment, you can look at the culture, you can look at the rankings of economic freedom, personal freedom, press freedom, whatever you want. You look, The US, where I'm from, for example, the rankings are in the toilet. We ranked the Passport the 42nd best. One Index ranks the press freedom the 50th best. This is not exactly the number one place on earth. And so get out there and figure out how you can make the plan B more actionable, how you can get more comfortable to where you'll actually execute on that plan B. That's why I say, if you're going to get a second passport, you're going to get a second residence, consider buying a home in that place. Don't buy some overpriced Caribbean real estate that's a timeshare that the guy in the flashy suit sells you. But go out and find a place where you want to live and buy a home there. Decorate it. Get used to it. Go there on a vacation. Take your mother-in-law, to where when things get bad, it's not, holy cow, we have to flee. It's, we got to go hole up in the house in the Algarve for a while, or the condo in Kuala Lumpur, or the pied-à-terre in Panama City. That's the reality I want you to create for yourself. Develop a deeper plan B so that way you're ready to use it when the time comes. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.